Alright, hello everybody, and welcome to a speedrun tutorial. The category I'm going to be sharing with you today is the one where I remove cursor capture from Pony Island so that I can show you an any percent speedrun. Now, before we start, a few things. First off, I have an act select menu that you get from beating the game. I'm going to be using this for tutorial purposes, but usually you'd have to clear your save data before doing a run, which would remove that menu, so this is technically not allowed, but for the sake of making learning easier, I'm going to recommend it, and just showing off. The other thing, graphics settings. Due to leaderboard rules, you're not allowed to have your graphics quality on low. It needs to be on either medium or high. Medium's probably better, unless it looks so bad to you, you know, on any other. Although I don't even notice a difference on low. But it's a leaderboard rule, so we gotta follow it. So yeah, I'm just gonna get straight started, and gonna talk about it. So you hit new game, timer starts right here. So if I were having my live split or something up, 3, 2, 1, go, like that. You're gonna want to move your mouse around here because you're gonna get into the options menu immediately at the start of the game. And then, because the start button will not work at this point, so you need to hit the options menu, and then here's the button to fix the start menu. But what I'm gonna try and do is hit it, and then I missed it there, but you can hit it and then try and, if I'm gonna reload the game quickly to kind of get a better showcase of what I mean. What I can do is I'm going to attempt to open the options menu and then hit fixed button, and like that, try and catch the back button in midair and put it back on the place it's supposed to go quicker. Then I open this portal, just drag the arrow over here, and then get my mouse back on the start button for when the puzzle's finished. Then I want to line my mouse around the place where these ellipses are, so that when this portal appears, I can go straight to it. You want to drag this off of the square and the arrow onto the square. Yeah, sorry about that. And then there's a cutscene. And doing this cutscene, you can't skip anything, you just have to sit through it. It's almost over. It's not that long a cutscene. And then once it ends, which is after this text box, you're going to be put in the game. Now, what you want to do is you want to position your cursor in the middle of the screen. I like to position it in kind of on the same area as the second highest row of pixels on the mountain in the background, and then on the middle of the screen horizontally. And the reason I do that is because I play with a laptop, so I have a trackpad, and as soon as the level ends, I can start mashing left click on the trackpad and immediately go to the next level. There's nothing you can do here except jump, so you just want to make sure you jump at the right times. It's a ridiculously easy start to the run. And yeah, so we just kind of gotta sit there and do it. It's only a minute or so to do these two levels, so it doesn't take too long. You want to position your cursor a little bit more upwards from where it was in the last level to actually get on top of the continue button for the second level. And then the portal's going to spawn around in this bottom left corner, or the bottom right corner. I like to use the D in the word there in the D in island right here. It's usually around here, so I like to put my cursor around there and position it using the D to find the portal. And then once this happens, you close both things, immediately open Messenger, start mashing. You get a few keys in there, because when Hopeless Soul asks your name, you have to have actual letters in the text box. Here he says again, because I'm playing on New Game Plus with the act select. If you're playing on a clean file, that won't happen. But you just need to keep mashing enter, because cutscenes will advance when you press enter at a specific text prompt. So you have to wait for that text prompt to happen. And then this one is will you help me. When you input something, this appears, and then you need to input here, and Lucifer is talking to you. And then you can keep mashing here, because the next text prompt that will advance the cutscene is going to be Hopeless Soul asking who's messaging you. And then you have to keep mashing, where Hopeless Soul will keep talking about to you. And then eventually we'll mention, like, does this make sense to you or something? It's gonna be this text box right here. Do you understand me? When you click enter, you want to switch over to the other messenger box with Satan and just start mashing. You want to move your cursor over the Pony Island game icon while you keep mashing. And then when this box closes, you can stop mashing once you see him say thank you. And what happens in this part is he forces your cursor over to the game. But since it's already over there, he clicks it and it saves a little bit of time of him having to move it over there slowly. The game launches, you immediately want to go into start game, which is going to be around here on the screen. I like to use the star as a visual cue to know where menu options are going to be. Then you want to get your cursor to the bottom of the screen, the bottom middle, so that when you're out of lives, you can immediately hit back and then immediately go to options. Hit obscure options, hit advanced RNG, drag them to the places, go through these menus, get to these. These three puzzles that are about to come up will be in the same spot each time. This first one's going to be in this left area. The second one's going to be in the top right area. Please. And the last one's going to be in this bottom right area. I don't know why I dragged that one off. And then once that's done, you can position your mouse here to get the lasers. Then you have to quickly do a circle to hit everything in that room with the laser to go back to the title screen. And then you get to use the laser in the normal gameplay. And this is where kill delays come in. So kill delays are a really tricky speed mechanic where basically this game, as an effect to kind of be harken to retro games, will lag a little bit to kind of show that, wow, this is a lot of processing power whenever you hurt an enemy. And so the way enemies work is after you get rid of an entire wave of enemies, there will be a timer before a new wave appears. So if you wait as long as possible to finish off a wave, like you see I'm stalling the last enemy here, it'll take longer for the next wave to spawn, therefore less waves will spawn, and that means less enemies to kill, and that means less lag, which means the game moves faster. There at the end of that stage, you want to try and have your cursor positioned in the middle of the screen. If you can't do that because you're busy lasering enemies, that's fine. If you land on a gate, you will respawn, and that can happen accidentally sometimes if you're dumb like me. Now, double dumb. Very dumb, okay. So that's what happens if you are bad. I guess, I don't know. I give up. What is it with me in this game? But yeah, so you will have to be careful to not have that happen, or else you're going to be losing a lot of time. I feel like the respawn text should not still be here. There we go. I don't know what's happening this game. I think I've broken the game by dying too many times. Honestly, this is a train wreck, but you get the gist of the gameplay, hopefully. And the kill delays, you want to delay the destruction of enemies. They're kind of scary because the enemies will move at you. And in waves like these, where they're constantly moving at you, it's kind of hard to kill delay. And in these ones, you accidentally kill the leftmost enemy a lot of the time while jumping. But take your time, or make sure you're doing good. Keep in mind the progress bar is kind of broken. And then once you beat the second level in the set of levels, this will happen. And once the screen is done shaking, it will tilt sideways a little bit. Once it's tilted, you want to position your cursor in this corner, and then wait for Hopeless Soul. After this text box, you want to start mashing, because you'll immediately go into Portal. And now we get to the first boss. Boss, technically. This is kind of going to be a big sequence break. I'm going to just show it off right here, and then I'm going to explain it as I go along. But this is going to be a Zazel skip. Alright, so that's a Zazel skip. If you don't know what just happened, Yeah, I'll go over that. That's a really confusing one. So let's go act select. Let's go to the act 1 boss. So first off, let's talk about the cage. So, okay, well actually, first off, let's spawn the boss. So next off, let's talk about the cage here. So this cage, as you see, your cursor cannot go in it. However, your cursor is still active in there. It's just that it is delayed. So for example, if you pause the game and move your cursor in there, it'll stay wherever you pause the game until you move out. This delete core file button will always work, as you see, even when the cursor is not showing in there. But also the way this game works, as you see, Azazel's hand, when you open the prompt to delete the core file, it will move over to close the prompt. So you have to hit it. And as you saw there, I was able to hit it quickly, but when you're in the box, as I mentioned, your cursor will not show. So that can be kind of hard to do. So what you can do is you can delete the core file and you can do this and then pause here and then move it over and immediately click, and that'll work on destroying the core file. You do want to be careful when doing the skip though, because you may notice I'm delaying a little bit. If I try too quickly, like while he's booting up, if I try to delete the core file, I'll kind of glitch the game. Or if I do, no, not like that. If I've been waiting until he starts his text to delete the core file, like as you see here. However, if I don't delay like that, so for example, if I boot up Azazel, get my cursor ready, and then in between him launching, booting completely, and doing text, this can happen, and this will soft lock the game into an infinite booting process of Azazel, where the game will not progress. You cannot delete the file, like even if you do this. Actually, what? Actually, that's a new one. I'm gonna be honest, I've never seen this before. It is still slower, though, to boot Azazel twice. So you're going to want to, as I mentioned earlier, go into the boss. You're going to want to wait until Azazel starts talking. And then try to delete and successfully delete with pausing. That will skip all the puzzles where you usually have to play like round by round puzzle games with Azazel in order to unlock the deletion of the core file. And to unlock all the 4 locks and be able to delete the core file. It saves a very good amount of time and it is very easy. No reason you should not do it, really. So now we get to proceed, now even though a core file is missing. And here's where here's what separates any % no major skips, really. So as you know, when you play this game casually, you're supposed to go into here, to go into here, to go into here, to get the password to go into here. It's a bit convoluted, but it works out. However, a little Easter egg, if you can, the passwords are always the same. So if you enter Hopeless Soul's password of 2734, he'll already be here. And when you click the portal gun, you can place the portal, and when you open the portal, it'll lead you straight to the second boss. So that saves a lot of time because it skips you straight to the end of Act 2. And then you get into this fight against Beelzebub. The thing about Beelzebub has several attacks. One of them you're going to see here is, if he doesn't, is he's going to shoot these spikes out. These spikes are a bad attack to see because, as you see, it makes you focus your laser somewhere other than his face. Another bad attack sees this face because if you have this, when you launch the wings, similar to killing delays, the game lags a tiny bit whenever you pull out the wings. So you want to not pull out the wings as much as possible, but when he does the ground shake, he kind of has to do that. So since it's bad to have your laser focused anywhere other than attacking the boss himself, what you're going to want to do as soon as he finishes booting here, you're going to want to start shooting at his mouth. You can see the red weak points, so you just want to keep shooting, and you want to aim for the mouth immediately. It's the best place to aim for because as soon as it's gone, he can no longer do the attack where he shoots out the spikes at you, and therefore you can focus your laser on him entirely for the rest of the fight, which just makes it faster. So, eyeball and forehead you could do in either order. Once the boss is gone, you're going to want to position your cursor in the middle of the screen. keep mashing. This moves your in-game cursor, but will not move your actual cursor. So if I pause the game, my cursor's still in the middle of the screen. So I just have to wait here, and there's going to be a small cutscene. Because the game will move your cursor back to that middle of the screen when this cutscene's over. So when Hopeless Soul is about to fire this laser, you can start mashing again, and it'll immediately start to delete the core file, causing the security breach as well. And then your screen fades to black, you have to wait a little bit. You can start to hear the title screen music. You want to have your cursor positioned to start game as soon as possible. Here in this cutscene, he's dead because I'm playing on a New Game Plus for the sake of tutorial making. He won't be dead if you clear your save data. Same things happens even if he's dead or not. You have to wait through this cutscene. And once you get into the gameplay, you don't have as many mechanics as you used to with the wings and the shooting. All you can do right now is jump, so this level becomes ridiculously easy. Just jump at the right time. At the end of each level, okay, I should have shown it off there. I'll show it off at the end of the next level. But there's a little skip you can do to save a small amount of time that can add up throughout the course of this part of the game. So, once we get to the end of this level, I'll be able to talk about it better. At this level, we get our lasers back, lasers in quotes, because the game skinned it to be blowing a gust of wind to get rid of the butterflies. Again, still pretty easy, because this level does not have a lot of gates. So as you see right here, at the end of this level, there's a little bit of a pause before the game brings you to the next level. Here, you just use your wings. There's a little bit of a pause before the game brings you to the next level, but you can do something throughout the entirety of Act 3 to speed this up a little bit. So you're going to see, when I get to the end of this level, which might take a little bit because there's a very long path of walking while Louis talks. You go through this level, and at the end of it, what I'm going to do is, once I hit the flagpole, that was a bad example, but once you hit the flagpole, you want to pause and very quickly unpause. And what that'll do is that'll skip the little delay that happens. It'll skip the little pause that happens after you beat a level with an actual game pause. I died there again because unfortunately I did not input my mouse correctly. That's again, so as I explained earlier, same bad thing here if you die to a gate compared to earlier. It just resets you to the beginning of the stage. This one's rough because it does not have a progress bar, so you can't really tell where you are. On this stage, when you see the flag post flashing like that, you don't want to do a pause cancel to skip the pause animation, because a pause animation will not occur. You'll just walk right through the flagpole, and it'll bring you to a puzzle break. These puzzles are fairly simple. This one, it takes a while for it to move. As you see here, I have all my signs in place, and it's going to wait until after this text box to start the butterfly moving. So you just have to use that time before it starts moving to position the butterfly, or to position all the signs in the right place to do the least amount of moving. Here, same thing. So even though the signs are all in place, not until after this text box will it start moving the butterfly, which gives you enough time to fully complete the puzzle. And then here you want to get the guy over to the switch, and then you're gonna want to move the butterfly all the way here, and then the sign's gonna spawn right here, and now you have the blue arrow signs. Then you're gonna want to double move a blue arrow sign, so like this, except correctly. If I can do that again. Like this. please. Thank you. To clear this puzzle. And then for this puzzle, it's fairly simple. You're going to want to swap these two, and then swap these two. And that's your puzzle. And then you're going to get another cutscene. And then you get corrupted butterflies. For the corrupted butterflies, you don't want to shoot them. Simple as that. But you do want to shoot the normal butterflies. Now we have a progress bar here, as you see, so we get better progress on... We get better notices on how far we are through a stage, instead of having to memorize the layout of the stage by the gates. Speaking of gates, this is another level that tries to introduce you to a new mechanic, so therefore will not have very many gates at all. You see we're almost to the end already. That's what a good pause delay looks like, or a pause cancel looks like. Mixing up my names here. We're gonna have to get through another stage. The next stage is going to be something very big in the run that's kind of notorious. Here, actually, I should mention, bringing out your wings doesn't lag the game like it used to in the adventure mode portion, or the boss fight in this case, because we skip all adventure mode. So feel free to bring them out to your heart's content, especially when Jesus shows up. So Jesus, if you don't kill Jesus, you get a ticket. And so, similar to killing stuff, although it doesn't happen with butterflies, kill delays are not necessary. Jesus will lag if you hurt him. And it costs about 1.5 seconds or so worth of lag if you kill him. However, because of the corrupted butterfly shield and you can't shoot corrupted butterflies, as you see there, sometimes he just gives you a pattern where the butterflies are in a not nice place and you can't really do anything except either shoot a corrupted butterfly or get hit by a normal butterfly. So it's really, especially early on in runs, it's really not worth the risk. Unless you want to get super optimized, you can just kill him, waste the second and a half, and make the rest of the level super easy. Once you're at the end of the level, this is another glitched flag post, so you don't want to pause cancel. You just want to get through. Okay, thanks. Second puzzle break. First thing you want to do is swap these, and then put this here. That's the best solution for this first puzzle. For this puzzle, you want to swap these after the pink butterfly hits the blue sign for the first time. And then you have to wait all the way for the purple, or the pink butterfly to get over to the house. And then you have this level. This level is pretty kind of self-explanatory. Actually, one thing to notice is that although you have the wind and the butterflies, so you don't have to worry about that, this level does bring back your normal wings, so you will lag whenever you bring out the wings, so you want to bring those out as little as possible. This is an enemy glitch. I'm kind of happy this happened, that I got to show this off. Well, also, one other thing to mention is that at this point in the level, Jesus will not... once Jesus spawns in this level, no other enemies will, so unless you're not confident in avoiding the stars that he shoots, it's really not worth getting rid of him in this level. But there's sometimes a glitch called an enemy glitch, where enemies will freeze in place. If that happens, you don't need to kill them, which is a good thing to happen, because then you can delay enemy cycles easier and also not lag the game as much. I don't know why it happens, and it's kind of rare-ish. Either way, as soon as those corrupted butterflies disappear, you have to shoot Louis. It's kind of rare-ish, but it's cool when it happens. And then once that happens, you have to go through this puzzle where you need to put this here, put this here, put this here, and then by the time this first thing is split, once that happens, you can swap these two. And then once this gets here, it'll crash the game. Then you want to immediately go over to the left and open the messenger. You're now in the desktop. You want to put some stuff here to activate a cutscene, and then you want to position your mouse around where I am on the screen right now. So you have to sit through this cutscene. Not much happening here. Once this text box happens, mash here to open the recycling bin. And then you have the 3 beta versions of the game. You can do these in any order you want. I personally am going to be them in this order for the sake of this tutorial. It doesn't matter. So I boot up the closest one to where the recycling bin icon is, which is going to be 3D. You want to start the game. 3D is incredibly simple. It's just like the entry levels where you don't have anything except a jump. So you just kind of have to put your mouse in one position. I like to play a game where I try and put my mouse in as terrible a position as possible. And then I click on the border of the game at the top and don't jump and die. So maybe just try and get your mouse in a good position and then only jump when necessary. Unless you want to jump around. You have a lot of space to jump around here, so really just have some fun. It's not that hard to do. It's also not too long a level. Like, pretty soon you'll be able to see the flag coming up in the distance. There it is, the white line. And then that happens. Once that happens, you're done with the level. Hopeless Soul says they can't make a portal. And then the next one we're gonna go to is right here is Devil Island. Devil Island is like an adventure mode level, actually, which is what we skipped in the run. So we're going to have to do kill delays, we're going to have glitchy wings that lag the game, and we're also going to have to jump some gates. It's also going to have a pause cancel. So what we need to do is just go through the level normally. You need to wait for the enemies to spawn, I guess. And then you want to do kill delays. At the end of this level, there's another enemy glitch, by the way. I don't know why they happen. You can pause cancel there. And then Hopeless Soul will talk. Only option is to keep looking, trying, whatever. Same concept, use text-based. Text-based is the easiest one, but also one of the ones where you can actually lose time. You want to immediately type in continue to prepare for a previous, an upcoming text box. Once you see System Tech Incorporated, the next prompt will be to continue. Then you want to type options before the game fades out like this, so that you can mash enter. Okay, well maybe you don't want to mash enter. You want to wait until you can press enter, well, the game shows you can type, and then you want to press enter. I guess I have not tested this game like that. I don't know. I usually forget to type options. Then you want to wait, you want to type fix, you want to type back, you want to... because that'll fix the start menu and send you back. You don't have to type in the full words of start menu. You can just type start as well to start the game. And then you can type jump. So this sequence of events, just like everything else in the game, is always going to be the same. So you just have to wait until things happen. You can dance, you can do whatever you want, move your hands, move your legs, Once this text box appears, you have to be ready to jump. If you're really good on your timing, you can hit the prompt a little bit before it shows up. Like that. And if your timing's good enough, you can actually hit the prompt a little early. Which will save, I think, a tiny bit of time, but it's... Unless you know the timing like the back of your hand, it's kind of hard to do correctly without, you know... It's kind of hard to do quickly without accidentally not inputting anything at all. And that can be wasted time trying to type it again. Like, there's another quick timing. Here, after that jump, you don't have to do anything. So it's just jump, jump, shoot, do nothing, jump, and then you can do whatever you want for the flag post. Doesn't matter. I like to shoot because, I don't know, shooting at the flag seems funny. The portal will spawn around here on the screen, kind of where Hopeless Soul is. There it is. And then it will load into Asmodeus. You boot up Asmodeus. And we have a quiz game. So you play this game, you know how Asmodeus works. You can't unwindow from the game, you can't pause the game, you have to not look away and answer his questions. His questions are the same every time, so you just have to wait for him to get to the prompt where you can answer. Nothing to do except wait. You can actually legitimately grab a snack while he's telling you to look at him and not break focus ever. This is not much happening. So, if you lose, if you look away or get an answer wrong, so you don't want to look away or get an answer wrong. We're not going to get an answer wrong. We are going to look away, though. You can see my death tally. Okay, so say my name, Asmodeus, is the answer to the first question. You can type a shorter name there, which is Where, which is a reference to something earlier in the game. Here, but that's slower, even though it's faster to type. You get some extra text for typing that, so it is slower. And here, for the say something vile question, Asmodeus is not lying when he says there's no wrong answers. So you just need to type in whatever you want. Usually just mash a letter and then hit enter. There's fake Steam messages. Shoutouts to that. Meanwhile, he's telling you to try and distract you while telling you what to type. You don't fall for that. Type that phrase for me, and then you type infernal, and you get through to the next part. Here he's fooling you, he's playing you for a fool. You can't actually open your Steam messages and apologize to a person you never sent a message to. Here he judges you for your typing speed. How nice. He always gives you the same typing speed. It's always 24, by the way. You can't change that with how fast you type at other points in the run. This answer is pony. And right now, below him, it's going to say, remember this. Remember this is going to be the answer to the next question, because you have to remember that. And then he's like, did you see that? Do you remember it? Yes, I remember it. I'm having some problems with mic stuff. My bad. Oh well. So after you type remember this, he wants you to type the number of the beast, but as soon as the text prompt shows up, it's actually going to switch below him to say type 777. So you're going to type 777, because that's what you do when you're a law-abiding citizen. So right now, he's going to ask us about our memory, and this is a great little skip that saves about 20 seconds. So he's going to ask you to remember 2023. Now, if you remember this game casually, first off, I already mentioned, I paused the game. I'm going to lose when I open the game. As I mentioned earlier, I do have a death tally. That's going to be important. So the way they had this, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to skip a sequence. So if you remember, the game will pretend to crash halfway through inputting this code, and then you have to finish inputting the code. We're going to skip the fake crash. So what's happening, as you see, is when I unpause the game, I lose. However, I can still type in this box before he kills me. So we're going to abuse that fact to put the game in a different state than the fake crash. Basically, what's going to happen is I'm going to abuse that to, instead of the game putting me in the sequence where the fake crash is going to happen, I'm instead going to put the game in a sequence where the game is going to make me lose. But since the game doesn't intend to do this until after you've already started typing, it'll still allow you to type. So actually no, I'm going to do this after. So what you're going to do is you're going to unpause, you're going to type here, and then once he starts typing, you're going to enter 2023, and then he's going to do that, and then he's going to say you are adequate, which is the next, adequate, I don't know words. He's going to say you're good enough, basically, to destroy the core file. I'm going to wait until he is actually done talking, because there is actually, similar to the skip in the earlier fight with Azazel, there is actually going to be a little bit of a soft lock you can do if you're not careful here. So I'm going to delete the core file, and while we're on this screen, I'm going to show, I have a video up right now. It's right here. This is an old video of mine, so this is what happens if you... So as you see here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to type 2023, and then immediately hit enter before the text starts. Or as you saw there, I started typing and then unwindowed to skip the fake crash, and also hit enter before the text starts, and it does this. This is a soft lock that is very interesting. If this happens to you, you don't worry. You can just exit the game and reopen it. Like, you can just do... I'm going to close that and get the game back. There we go. You can close the game. If you hit escape, it'll send you immediately back to the title screen, and then you can hit continue, and it'll continue with the game. It will send you to the text that means you've won. But then after that, once you delete the core file, you hit restart in recovery mode, it sends you to this screen, and there's a bit of a cutscene after the fight. So you have to wait through this cutscene. It's a bit of a long cutscene, so don't worry too much. After this text, there's going to be a button that appears around here. You click it as soon as you can, and the cutscene starts with music this time. You wait for this to happen, for Hopeless Soul to yell a bunch. You know, the usual things that happen in the game. And then once this happens, you just have to wait for this bar up here to go down. It'll have to go all the way from 0 to 100. It takes a little bit for it to go 1%, so just multiply however long that takes by 100, and that's the whole thing. So here, you can't do anything to speed this up or slow this down. This is an auto-scroll. What's usually recommended to do is just sit here and hold your laser in this position. You can also just do nothing. As you can see here, it does nothing when you get hit. It still counts up, so you can do whatever you want. Some people just like to hold their laser out because they feel safer not dying. And hitting stuff does not lag the game. Neither do wings. The countdown will always go down the same no matter what happens. Unless you legitimately lag the game in the way that's not just an effect of the game itself, which I don't know how you would even do that. Here you can shoot this guy if you want. I like to shoot him. It's fun. He's dead. More will spawn. You can kill him more. Fun stuff. Have fun. Have a spinning party. Soon enough, enemy logic will be so deleted that he can't even be drunk. You know. It happens. Once you get at this point, Satan will get mad and appear. Here you have to jump over his stuff if you want. Again, this is all optional if you want to play the game or not. There's going to be one part of this ending where I'm actually going to recommend playing the game. But for now, you can just jump over stuff. You can literally do nothing. The end of the game is in sight, so have fun. I love seeing his little head move back and forth as I keep getting hit here. This is fun. But you keep going. Eventually you're going to get to the halfway point, because that's how progress works, I guess. I'm going to wait a little bit longer, though. So you see, around the time of the halfway point, Act 3 things will start appearing in the background. So you're going to see this title screen from Act 3. And as soon as you see this, a second one will soon show up. And then once this second screen shows up, the devil will start talking. And Louie is about to appear. Now, Louie is a part I actually recommend watching out for. Because he will shoot corrupted butterflies. Now, the thing about these corrupted butterflies is it is actually not good to have you hit them. So what you want to do, if you want to shoot your laser forward, you kind of want to bully Louie a little bit to knock him all the way to the top of the screen. Also, if you get him in this damage state, he won't shoot butterflies. But if you knock him towards the top of the screen, it'll reduce the chance that butterflies can fly directly into your laser, which is a thing that can happen if you're not careful. But yeah. So that's one thing you might want to watch out for if you want to shoot your laser. Of course, if you don't want to shoot your laser, that's fine. You can just keep doing this and letting yourself ram into damage. Right here, we're around 80%, so the sides of the screen will start breaking, a cool little visual technique that lets you know you're getting really close. And Satan will soon after get rid of Louie and come back himself for another wave of attacks. You don't have to worry too much here. Just gonna attack the background. We're not in the background, so no need to worry. Look at them jump. I wish I could jump like that. And then around 90, he'll leave. He won't attack anymore. And you can just keep going. And then around the 95, 96-ish area, right here, there will stop being corrupted files to get hit by. So at this point, you just have to wait for the last couple of seconds as all the souls keep escaping, and then as the bar reaches 100, the screen fades more and more to white until it actually hits the full point. And right here, when it's fully in white, is when you'd stop your timer. And then you'd have this happen. Your timer would be done at this point as you float away. And that is the whole of Pony Island Any Percent. I hope that this video helped you to learn the category as good as possible. I especially made this because I know not only does a friend of mine want to learn the game, but there's also somebody who's going to be learning this for the upcoming 12-hour challenge, which is actually how I got into running this game in 2017, so I'm definitely excited to see activity in this game, and I really hope that making a tutorial like this to help people run the game will only encourage more people to learn the game, and really push the game to the limits that it's almost at as a speed game. But yeah, after these credits, you don't really need to watch these credits if you don't want to. You can just close the game and reopen it. But for the sake of tutorialism, I'm going to just watch the credits. I guess. No, I'm just going to end it. We don't need to watch the ending, do we? Well, we're at the end of the ending. You know, it's right here. You beat it again. I beat it again. You don't have to delete the game from your computer. You can delete your save data. Crash. That's Pony Island. I already gave my thank yous and my stuff, so I have nothing to do. I should stop switching the stuff while I'm still recording. I'm gonna stop recording now.